Alright, what is up guys? Loser Manic here, and look how bright it is out here. You know? It's I don't need all these artificial lightings. I have the outside. And this is about as much sunlight as I ever get in a day, so on an average day. 2 days ago I was just outside working on my grandma's yard because she wanted me to. I didn't want to, but I could have just said no, but I hate saying no. That's why I'm all the way out here. Um, so welcome to a video. Today I want to talk about something that really pissed me off this morning. A lot of stuff don't piss me off. Well, not enough to make a video on it, but this one really grind my gears. You know, just like that Peter Griffin bit on the news. So yeah. One of the things I want to talk about is this bullshit that's going on with me. Not some like medical thing or whatnot. Now this may be like the most dumbest rant you will ever hear, but just let me vent. I need to vent to someone, alright? Just let me vent to you guys, because my videos hardly get any views anyway, so it might as well just be me venting to myself. So, and if you're watching this, enjoy. So yeah. So this morning, I didn't plan on making a video like this. In fact, I didn't plan on making a video. I just planned on sitting in my room playing Cyberpunk all day. But I feel I want to talk about this because this pissed me off. So this morning, just like any other morning, you know, can you stop offering? Can you stop waving your arm when I look over this way? Sorry, there's a dog there. So this morning was pretty normal. I say that because lunch was when it fucking hit me in the ass. So one of the things I came here for, if it's not obvious, if you watch some of my other videos, I talk about it every once in a while, is I came here to Washington, living with my grandma, so that way I can find a job. But the problem is, all of these things are fucking impossible for me to get. Alright, they have these ridiculous standards that I'm not good for. One of the things I could do is be a greeter at fucking King Supers or whatever, but the problem is I need to put on a smile, and my smiles are always very artificial because I fucking hate people. So I can't work there. But that's just the tip of the iceberg, and I'm not here to talk about jobs and whatnot because I already made a video on that. Although I might make a part 2, just make myself a bit more angry. Because I can now go in depth with all this. So, my aunt, keep in mind, I'm living with my grandma. Her sister is doing this shit to me. Which I wouldn't have a problem with if I was fucking staying with her. I'm not. I'm staying with my grandma. I hate being told what to do by people that aren't my parents or my family for that matter. Granted, she is my family, but put aside that, people who I'm not living with. Which may be family, but it just bothers the fuck out of me. Because I came here so that my grandma can help me find a job. Now, granted, I could find a job on my own. I will give. I'm not putting this whole blame on my grandma. I'm not doing that. But I'm trying to give context for some people who may not understand what I'm saying. So just keep in mind, for this purpose, we're gonna say, well, yeah, just keep in mind. It's supposed to be like I'm supposed to stay at my grandma's so that way she can help me find a job. But just keep in mind, for the sake of this, my grandma is helping me find a job, and I'm supposed to be looking for a job on my own. So yeah. So my aunt, she knows about this whole thing. I'm a part of DVR services. Some of you guys who don't know, DVR is like is Divisional Vocational Rehabilitation. Is basically helps people with developmental disabilities find jobs and whatnot. And I've been put on a wait list for quite a few months now. Which bothers my grandma, but I'm totally fine with, because the more and more I don't have a job, the more I'm just like, fuck it, I don't want one. I'm getting to that point where, like, I'm gonna be like the little... Sorry. So you guys may not know why I keep looking over here. No one knows I do this, and I want to keep it that way. And so I thought my grandma was pulling into the driveway. So if you ever see me freak out or whatnot, just know that that's why. Or if you see me look over here constantly, that's why. So yeah, so with that, I don't know. Anyway, so the more I don't have a job, the longer I go without a job, the more I'm just giving up. Because I am accepting the fact that I am not fit for a job. And if you think that's dramatic, oh boy, that's just the tip of the iceberg for me. I'm the most dramatic person you will ever meet. I guarantee that much. But yeah, so with that, just moving on forward. So yeah, one of the other problems I struggle with, is managing myself, or taking care of myself, meaning showers, brushing teeth, just hygiene as a whole. Hair is a problem. Yeah, and I'm not afraid to admit that. I mean, look at how gross I am. Like, I swear, this hair got washed yesterday, so I don't need to take a shower today, but I'm gonna need to tomorrow. But will I? Fuck knows. I don't know. I should, but am I going to? More likely, probably not. Not by choice. It's not like I'm choosing not to. It's just, I don't know. And here's the problem with these people, well, not these people. Here's the problem with this side of the family. I say this side of the family because most of my family, most of my mom's family side of the family is from Washington. So this side of the family. Not only, I think I'm the only person in my family that has autism. How the fuck did I lose on this draw? I swear. It's like I'm playing Russian roulette, and I was the first one hit. Well, obviously, because that's how Russian roulette works. It's like I'm playing a game of D&D, and I somehow rolled anything but a 20. Is that how that works? Who knows? So yeah, sorry, paranoia is going through the roof. So yeah, and then today, my aunt thought it'd be a good idea to give me a fucking calendar. Keep in mind, I haven't properly used the calendar at all. Why do I need one? Can you stop looking at me, please? Sorry, there's a dog right there. What the hell do I need one for? And it was just for one whole month. Now, my thing is I can't manage to do stuff on my own. And it's clearly obvious, considering the fact that I'm sitting here complaining. And yes, it is something I need to work on, but that's too much work. Alright? They don't understand, and they try to. And the thing is that they constantly complain about how, or they constantly say, I want to or like, help me understand. So whenever I try and help them understand, they're like, no, that's not how that works. It's like, well, how the fuck do you know? You're not the one. You clearly asked me to help you understand how my autism works, because autism's very different. And so the one time I try and help you, you just fucking dismiss it. Granted, I haven't been told that yet. I haven't been told to, like, that they want to understand my autism. Mostly they think that I can control my autism, and from as far as I can tell, I haven't found any. I haven't found any, not a single thing that says that I can control my autism. It could be possible. I think that's what people do, but I think most people say like you have to work with it as opposed to try and control it. Because it's not. How do I say this? There's no way of saying it. I can't think of an example of something you can control. But the amount of times I have used my autism as an excuse, that's what I'll say. My grandma has quickly dismissed this. And she says that can't be an excuse. I'm like, well, I don't know what else to fucking say, because that's probably what it is. So yeah, and then my aunt says it's a good idea to like write down all of the shit she wants me to do, that she wants me to do for her sister, not what my grandma wants me to do for her, because if my grandma asks me to do this stuff for her, I'm gonna fucking do it because I'm not a fucking asshole. Alright? I'm just a person who's just trying to live his life and not go batshit insane. And I'm not gonna finish that sentence because that is a horrible thing to say. If you're wondering what I was gonna say, I'm not telling. But it's just, I just find it ridiculous because the thing is I feel like they're trying, they're desperately trying, but then they just don't get it. And then they just forget it entirely, and then I have to constantly say, "Oh yeah, it's my autism," and then I have to refreshing their mind over something that they should hopefully by now understand, because I've been here for not even a year, maybe close to 6 months. I flew in here in November. It is May, so yeah, definitely 6 months. I have been here for half of a year. They should at least by now done some goddamn research on how to work with autism. But they don't, because they think it's not going to be that big of a deal. Yet here I am 6 months later, nothing is changed. It's still the fucking same. And why? Because and look, I understand that it should be me that helps them understand, but I feel like it's a two-way street here. Alright? You want me to do something, I want you to do something. You want me to help out here. I want you to understand how my autism works. That way we won't have to get into constant arguments. I have been getting... First of all, my aunt has been getting on my nerves since the day I flew in here. Granted, she doesn't live here. She lives all the way out in Marysville. I live in Tacoma. So if you guys know... if you guys in Washington know the distance between Marysville and Tacoma, then you guys know how long that is. So I don't see her as often, which is amazing. Because the longer I stay here, the more I'm gonna go insane. Because, at least back home in Colorado, there's people who understand my autism. My mom doesn't, my sister does, my dad kinda gets it, I think. But no one here understands it entirely. And it pisses me off. And I always say that, like, my autism is like a prison and whatnot, but in actuality, it's them that are the fucking problem. Because they refuse, because they think, like, oh, I understand how this works. No, you don't. No, you don't. They will never understand how it works unless they do their goddamn research. I don't need to, because I know what I am, how I am, although I did learn. This is how I confirmed that I was autistic, because I saw that, like, there was this mom who, like, made, like, a list of, like, stuff my autistic son does, or stuff my autistic daughter does, and then I compared those two, and then I was like, okay, so they do somewhat the same, and they do somewhat different. I do some of those things. I don't do any of those things. So I was like, okay, autistic people are different. Like Bo Blacks, he's autistic. I think the problem with me comes in that I also that for some sick joke, ADHD is now involved in this. So maybe that's a bit of a problem. But yeah, and they always say, like, live like you're happy. Yeah, well, my happy days is just fucking nothing but video games and porn. That's it. Which may seem a bit like a personal thing, but whatever. Although I guess yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Well, okay, and music. So video games, porn, and music. Whatever. I can say this stuff because I'm 19. If I was 17, I definitely would not be saying that. Because that is like... Because you're basically saying... I'm basically admitting as a minor that this is what I do. So, yeah. And... It's not like I'm doing this on purpose to piss them off. If I was, God, the other problem with I have is if I had known then what I know now, I would have said no to this. I would have said no to agreeing to come here. But I didn't because I hate saying no, which is a massive problem. Which is why I always say I'm vulnerable. Aside from my autism and ADHD, because I don't like saying no. So I would say yes to just about anything. Just about. There's a few things. Snakes, heights, needles. Unless it's a tattoo. That's about it. Or stuff involving feces, but that's a different time. And I just feel like they say they want to. I just feel like they say they want to help me just so I can calm down. But the more that they say they want to help me, the more it pisses me off. Because they have said this at least 3 times now. It's still nothing. And yes, I could pull in my end of the weight, but I have so much shit going on in my head. Like, I'm supposed to remember every fucking thing I need to do. I don't know. I'm fucking tired of this. I don't get it. I understand. I know what they want from me, but But they're over here like, you need to pull your end of the lever. Yeah, well, you ain't fucking starting yours either. They're trying to do all this stuff for me, yet I'm feeling like I have to do this alone. And like, okay, so let's say, and let me just say, I do understand that I do need to pull my end of the weight here. I understand that, but let's say that like I'm not supposed to look for a job on my own. I have to look for a job when my grandma is here. Alright, let's say that happens. For whatever fucked up reason, now I get the blame for it if I've gone this long without getting a fucking job because of the fact that I didn't remind her. When her sole duty is to help me find a job. So now all of a sudden, now I get blamed for this shit, even though... As I stated as the hypothetical, I'm only supposed to search for a job if she's willing to help me with it, which means I cannot, for any reason, search for a job on my own. She has to help me. I get the blame for it because I'm the one that's supposed to remind her of her sole duty given by her fucking daughter. My mom. Which is the most dumbest shit ever. And keep in mind, I have gone a full... Let's put it this way. After I graduated, I spent almost a full year without a job. I'd say almost a full year because I can't tell time, but more likely it was probably a whole year without getting a job. Um, well, okay, a year in a few months. Which is a whole nother can of worms I might open at a later date. Um, I am now on 6 months. You know what's gonna happen after the year without having a job? Guess who's gonna be blamed for it? Me, because apparently I'm supposed to remember the 5 fucking things I'm supposed to do in this house when I can barely even remember to take care of myself. And that's the thing, is I understand that like comparing like something major like finding a job and forgetting to take care of myself may seem like a poor excuse, but I feel like basic self management is like something everyone should remember to do. So like everyone should remember to brush their teeth, take a shower, wipe themselves, wash their hands, um, that sort of thing. I almost said too much, but so I feel like everyone watching this is that you know this is one of the few um things that everyone should remember to do when it comes to self management. There is also some other stuff: stay healthy, work out, but the four main ones that everyone does, whether you're skinny or big, is to just brush your teeth, wash your hands, take a shower, and wipe your ass. um, let's say four, even though wiping your ass was just the fourth one I made up, or I added, so just go along with it. Um, and I forget to do three of those. Or I guess if you take away the wiping your ass part, then it's three. Then so I guess it would be all of them. But I forget to do three of those things. Basic management that everyone should remember to do. So how the hell am I going to remember to do something else as a side thing? I understand that I'm here to help me find a job. But yet, it seems to me like I'm the one that's been starting this whole thing. I'm the one and I get it. Like, I'm 18, I'm 19, almost said 18. I'm 19 years old. I should know to search all this stuff up. But it just, if I had to do this much work, I feel like I wouldn't have to be here in the first place. They would have just kept me in Colorado. So it seems like they're expecting something else from me. I guarantee you they are expecting something else from me. I guarantee you once I get a job and a therapist, they're going to ask me for one more thing that I need to do. Because that's how fucked up my life is. This is how stupid my life has become. But let's just cast that aside for a moment. So yeah, I have been the one that's been starting everything. All of the DVR stuff. Yesterday I had to call in to confirm my eye exam, which went awesome. I'm getting new glasses in 2 weeks before I travel back to Colorado for 2 weeks. I've been feeling homesick every fucking day. The more days I go with just being here, this is a fucking nightmare. And it's all thanks to my stupid aunt. Here's the thing that you need to know about how I lived or the way my parents were parenting me versus how my aunt parents her kids. First things first, they weren't as aggressive. Apparently my aunt is very aggressive with her kids. Granted, they're like into their 30s, so this is a bad example. To put into perspective, she's not even a grandma. She's still just a mom. Her sister, my grandma, is obviously a grandma. So my aunt's kids are like into their 30s. So, and knowing them, I doubt they'll have kids. They're hardworking. They're almost workaholics. At least my cousin is. My cousin is a massive workaholic. And she likes to hike, so I doubt that she'll hate doing nothing for 9 months. Or a couple of months, but mostly 9 months, but whatever. Anyways. Yeah, my parents were very lenient as to how they made us do stuff. They basically said just take out the trash and empty the dishwasher and feed the dog. But apparently, my aunt lived in a farm, so my cousins got to do like hoeing and basically farm needs. And she expects me to work just as hard when I'm not that fucking person. Yeah, and so I feel like my problem mostly just comes from my aunt. I don't get it. Her and I don't see eye to eye, and that's fine. We don't have to. Um, I just can't wait to head back to Colorado for 2 weeks, which is going to suck. No, knowing it's gonna be like a day of just like nothing, no worries. But I guarantee you, my parents are gonna do some shit that's gonna piss me off, and I'm just gonna fucking snap. Although saying you're gonna snap is pretty weird. It's a weird thing to say. But yeah, and they constantly do this thing that I hate doing, where I say like I don't feel comfortable talking on the phone, and like I didn't feel comfortable talking on the phone either, but that's something I have to get used to. It's like, all right, I didn't ask for a fucking life lesson here. I'm just saying, I'm just explaining. I don't feel comfortable talking on the fucking phone. I'm here to explain to you the problems I personally come across when finding a job. And they're just like, no, it's a life lesson you have to learn. It's like, yeah, I fucking get it. I get it. I've been told this so many goddamn times. And it's a thing of like, oh, I don't like people. It's like, oh, well, eventually you'll get to like him. No, I highly doubt. I highly doubt I'll get used to liking people, because that time was up. People had their chance to make it up to me, and they just fucking blew it. They blew it. So now, although that does sound like I'm gonna go on some like murder spree, I promise you I'm not. I don't have murder. I don't have homicidal tendencies. I have suicidal tendencies. That is a weird thing to say. Also considering the fact that I kind of made it as a reference to that group, that musical group, but I don't listen to them. I don't even know what genre they are. I think are they like rap metal or something? I'm not sure. But whatever. I have no idea where this video was going. But if you are watching this, and you made it this far, thank you for sticking around. And this is a thing that I come across, is I constantly say that I need to seek therapy before I get a job. But the one thing they're actively pursuing is that I get a job first. No, if you ask me, I'd rather much prefer getting therapy, or according to my mom, either that or pills for my depression, anxiety. I say depression because I'm not medically diagnosed with depression or anxiety also, but just for this purpose, I'm just gonna say I am. Just so that way we're not confused here. And I don't want to add more words to shit that doesn't matter. So I don't. But yet they're over here saying like, no, you need to get a job first. And I can't do much of anything because I say I need therapy first. My aunt and her sister say that I need a job first. So I lose out on that trump card 2-1. So I just want to ask my mom, like, what do you think I should pursue first? Should I pursue therapy first, or should I pursue a job first? But patience, young Padawan, coming from a guy who's losing his goddamn mind. I am slowly losing my mind every day that I am here. Every day that my aunt does this shit to me, I am losing my marbles. I'm losing my Jenna marbles. That sounds weird. And I don't know what to do about it. It's just getting to this point where I'm just gonna just become disinterested. At some point, they're gonna ask me if I want a job, and I'm just gonna be like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't. Because they're gonna ask me why I don't want a job, and I'm like, well, because we're getting nowhere. I'm losing my goddamn mind, and it's because of the fact that I'm having to search for a job, so I'm not interested in one anymore. And then they're gonna get all pissed off, like, oh, you're just being dramatic, which apparently is like the entirety of my generation. Keep in mind, to put into perspective, let's use generations. I'm a Generation Z. My grandma is a boomer. So we skipped over this is a 2-generation age gap. My mom is Generation X. So that means, and keep in mind, I'm pretty sure my aunt's kids are millennials. So there's that. And apparently, according to my grandma, my whole generation is a bunch of dramatic assholes. And I'm like, no, it's your fucking kids that are fucking us up. And I'm gonna be like, no, it's people like you who think that we're dramatic, but no, we just need help here. Not all Generation Zs are fucking are like this. Generation Z people are, a lot of them are better managed than me. Some are not, some are worse than me. I'm not saying I have it easy, I'm not saying I have it bad. The point I'm trying to get here is this. She has this annoying thing where she thinks that that this generation is a bunch of lazy, entitled brats who wants everything handed to them on a platter. And let me tell you, that is not true. And I know that for a fact because I am like that. Well, no, not really. But my sister, who's like born in 2003, I was born in 2001, so she's turning 18 this year. So that means she's Generation Z, is well handled better than me. She has a job, she can drive, she can take care of herself, and yet I cannot do anything like that. I don't have a job, I can't drive, and I can barely take care of myself. And this is the shit that happens to me, is now I have to deal with how much of a disappointment I am, or how much of a disappointment I feel, because of the fact that I am now a part of this generation that gets such a bad rap. From guess who? Anyone that isn't a Gen Z. Gen Zs understand, I think, for the most part. I think and I'm not saying like not everyone that isn't a Gen Z hates Gen Zers, because Gen Zers hate each other. But what I am saying is a lot of these Gen Z people. I'm turning this into a TED Talk. I am sorry. I'm trying to make it to where I'm trying to make you guys understand what my thought process is with these. And the thing is, like, not all Gen Zs are disappointment, self-entitled brats, because we also have Generation Alpha, which apparently is the generation that's addicted to their goddamn phone. So, yeah, I don't know what the problem is. I want to ask her, but it will just lead to more. It will just make it worse in my head, because then now I feel like I am becoming more of the problem. And then I'll start to go insane. And it's just, I can't take it. And the problem is I can't do anything about this. It's at this point, I just feel like my life is out of my control now. And I want it to be in my control. That's why I spend most of my time in my room, because that is the only time my life is in control. Granted, it's in control of video games, so whatever happens there is entirely out of my control, but still, at least I have something, you know? At least I have fucking something. And I know that the title says I'm giving up, but that is not a suicide reference thing. That is not me saying I'm gonna kill myself, because I feel like that would be a terrible video. And besides, I feel like if I was to make a video on my suicide, I'd be reading off some script as opposed to just sitting down, not knowing what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna end this video before I start repeating myself and start saying stupid shit. I'm not gonna ask for subscribers or comments or likes, because there's no way I could. But if you are watching this video and you're making it this far, you made it this far, thank you for sitting and at least listening to my problems. You may have been annoyed with it, but at least you'd stayed this long. To at least hear me out and kind of understand where my head was going with this. So yeah, anyways, Losomaniac out.